Yeah, I just pulled it up.
What is up, guys? We just had a little oopsies. I accidentally didn't press go live, but nevertheless, we get a redo. I'm here with two of the best in the business, definitely the best summer league in the business, and they've been absolutely crushing. BP, Kalogna, and Levert, the youngsters of the game. They dominate as wee pups, as I'm an old fucking piece of shit. BP, I'm going to call you Parker. In high school, we had a kid named BP, and it stood for bitch pussy. You are not a bitch pussy. You are a great DFS player. A lot of unknowns as we get later in the summer league. How are you going to approach a lot of these guys we think assumed being shut down? And will you change your strategy at all? You've been crushing already, or is it business as usual? Same thing, trust the process.
Same thing as usual, but it's definitely a different slate. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys getting shut down, and with how reporting is in summer league, we probably won't know until the game starts or after lock. So, it might be a slate where you can leave some salary. Most slates, you don't want to do that, but it's probably okay to do that this slate.
Love it. Even better the second time. Now, Bert, are you going to kind of play aggressive with your main team? I'm going to specify main team as far as holding your value for later. Even though we get starters and they're good, but this team will probably play a 10 or 11 man rotation, or try to wait for the gold mine value later when a team will have like only 7 or 8 available guys. And it's like a guy's going to play nut minutes. How you be approaching that? Will you just be going game by game with your main team?
Yeah. I mean, for me, once we get to about halfway through the summer league, I pretty much assume at least one player is going to get randomly scratched. Today and tomorrow could be the peak of that. I mean, there's tons of guys in this. I mean, we saw Bazelos off the bench yesterday. There's a lot of funky shit happening, especially now. I trust myself to make the quick decisions near the end of the slate when this falls. So I like to play into that and play for guys sitting. I would say not a bad slate to play the studs that are in. Sometimes they may not be the best plays, but if you can lock in raw points, definitely not against that here, because at worst you might lose to a slightly better one, like Castleton versus Connect or whatever type of guys like that. Where Connect's a little better, but if you get a guy that that's in, you can eat that and hopefully claw back a different way. Because if you get fucked at the end of this slate and you have to leave off 5-6K, it's not really ideal. So I say take the good values while you can. The studs more so. The values will open up, but the studs may not. That's how I would go about it.
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought I messed my mic up. So I've noticed a lot of earlier when you're all shipped so far the summer league, it has been kind of you're locking in the studs and you're kind of doing the chalkier value later, stuff like that. I think that's basically what you just said. I think that's the good thing to do today. That's why I kind of wanted to play Roddy on the early slate, because it's like I hate this guy, but I know Sarr's playing, but that's like a center position. So I think that's the way to attack it today. And if you look at this New York game, which we'll go ahead and get into, there are actually some really good pieces, and I don't think we have to worry about guys setting. Like on the New York side, no, there's no rotation pieces. It's Kolek. Maybe Washington does because he's old and dusty, but we'll get the starters. Do you lock in Kolek and lock in his floor of like 20 and gigantic usage? Like Toppin's going to miss. And then like the two centers continue to crush. They're splitting equal minutes. I think the centers, and then assuming Washington, I actually don't really like Washington, to be honest. He's really scoring dependent. He can get there, but I'll let that beat me. Maybe you guys will be different. But I mean, Kolek, you lock in like a floor of 20 with someone who has the ball in their hands the whole time. I'll go back to you, Vert, real quick. What are you going to do about that? What do you think about Kolek?
Yeah, so Kolek, he's kind of funny. I'm trying to think of my NBA comp for him. I had one in my head, but I forgot. But he's a guy where if the passing is open and that's how they're winning, he's going to commit to that the entire game. And if he's a scorer early in the game, you can kind of expect him to continue with that. So I'm a little concerned on how his usage can be game-to-game basis. Again, low sample for him, but just as a player, he might be in some games where even though he is a good scorer, it just isn't the game for him to do that. And so if you take him, I mean, the price is a little high. I'm going there if I'm super scared. I'm probably not going there if I can name a couple of studs that are playing later in the day. And then the Knicks centers, they've been really good. Minutes, I'm always a little concerned with like these guys that could potentially split down the middle. Their prices are solid enough though. You can play like you won't lose if they get you 20, obviously. And there's not that many center options this slate. I know it's a later game, but like Yaviz Missy played, pretty big minutes last game, and Hall is good. And obviously Scap is probably the better of the two Knicks centers. But tough position, and Mo Gabe is out, so I mean I could see viability there. Obviously, probably more tournament plays.
Yeah, and the fact that he comes off the bench is always scary. But Kai is a fantasy point per minute monster. I didn't know you were up to date on your college game as far as knowing like Tyler Kolek only scores when he really has to, and sometimes that varies. I didn't know. I wasn't familiar with your game. Do you watch college ball?
We did college prop betting, and I played some
Oh,
DFS
okay.
too. So
Makes sense.
I'm up to date.
Parker, it's been a while. How are you approaching this New York team? Is it any different than your boy?
So the center position is actually really weird tonight. We'll get into that later, but locking in either of these two centers early, I don't think is like a horrible idea. I don't know if I'll do it in any of my main lineups, but Scapins every game, he just seems to like get 30 somehow, even in like under 20 minutes. And he is a great producer. I think he's been overperforming. And people are going to look at his game logs, and he'll probably be over-owned, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to full fade him. I think he's fine. And then Kolek is like safe and fine, but I don't love it. But he could get like 40, and that's what you want on this slate. So I'll probably have him in some lineups. And then Dwayne Washington, I played him last game, and he had like 23 in the first quarter and then didn't do anything after. And he only played 23 minutes last game. He's played over 30 in at least one game. So like there's a wide range of outcomes there. And then outside of the centers and the two guards, I don't think there's much unless Toppin plays.
So as far as center goes, if you did like do like 60% of Scap and like 25% Hug Porty, and then you have like PJ Hall rolled out later, I mean, you're sitting on the absolute stones because Moses. I'll put the percentages out there. I think Misi could maybe go to the bench I think McAfee is going to rest, but Misi could always go to the bench too. And even if he plays 30, he's not productive.
I don't know. We can get into this later, but I don't know what happened with Carlo. But I think he got hurt last game. He only played 3 minutes. There's no reports on it though, so I have no idea what happened.
I know we're going game by game, but I think center position is important to talk about. So I say we just talk about these centers, and then when we go to the game by game, we just don't have to talk about the center position. I put him as a 0 today, but even if Misi plays massive minutes, they still have Liddell that can play some 5 too if they want to go small ball. Or not Liddell, but not Liddell. Sorry. Who else is it? Who else is it? Mitchell? Carlo is not good. I'm putting Carlo at a 0. Is it Trey Mitchell? No, that's okay. OKC. He's another big there. He's useless.
They don't have.
Let me check. Yeah.
They have Oduru actually, but he's not.
Oh, I actually like him. Come on.
They have Keon Brooks. No, I just.
So Oduru would be the true 5 that would.
Yeah, I gotta see what did they do last game. I have to look at that before I say anything here.
They gave Misi 29 of the center minutes.
Yeah, they gave him a lot. Obviously, yeah, he's. I mean, you would take a PJ Hall 29 over a Missy 29, but if you're again uncertain of who played, Oduru played last game. Oduru and Brooks both played a decent round. They can. Oduru would be pretty good. Though.
Brooks is a 4.
Yeah,
he was a natural 4.
Oduru was good in college. He could definitely be good.
Is he center eligible though? That's the
no. They're all power forward.
The only point I'm making is like trying to get people fucked by like Hall's rolled out, but then they have Misi to go to, so they're not taking zeros. So that kind of makes me a little bit lower on the idea of like
most people are going into the slate with Hall in their lineup, and it'll just switch because it's the same game too. That's gonna be the easy part for people. The harder part is like the Odurus and stuff. If he starts, it's definitely not bad.
Parker, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, the Hall Misi spot is probably the best way to go, but there's that small chance, like for some reason, both of them don't play, and then you're just dead.
Yeah, no, I mean, because was it yesterday that Misi played?
Yeah, no, they played.
No, it was 2 days ago.
Played 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think
so. There's 5 teams on back-to-backs: the Knicks, Hawks, Bulls, Thunder, and Mavs. Those 5 are on back-to-backs.
So I think Messi, I put it at like 95% to play, which sucks. I want there to be chaos at the center position.
I mean,
That sucks.
I'll throw out chaos here. I just
Oh,
if he didn't DNP last game, he'd be such a good play because if Sanogo sits Nathan Knight's 5K at center, the only issue
yeah.
is he played both the. I don't know. Okay, sometimes people just sit and he might like it's like Kenny Lobson type deal. So he might if Sanogo was out, he might just start. So like it could happen.
That's
But
early too. That's the second game.
Sanogo is definitely a rest candidate. Him and Buzelis. I mean, once Buzelis came off the bench last game, it could be a play where like what my guess would be they're just preparing for the regular season and they think he's going to be a 6-man to start, so they wanted to see how it looked because he still played 29 minutes. But on the off chance they're just trying to ramp down, Bulls are definitely a rest spot. If Sanogo sits, that's a really good center position to be in. I wouldn't want Brooks. I would want Nathan Knight for sure.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. I took under on Sanogo 15.5. I could see him like starting just playing 18 minutes.
I can't under that because I love him so much, like to score in these games, but he could definitely be a little more.
Well, I took his over yesterday, so I'm going like against myself.
I did as well.
Why I had Liddell on my mind was because he started last game for the Hawks. I think they could go the DePaul big man, Nick Ongenda, and start him over Liddell because Liddell played so poor. Ongenda played a little better. I don't know. He wasn't a great fantasy point per minute guy. He was really streaky, but I think he's also a starting candidate today, and it's in the first game, so we will know. I guess do you get Parker, any last words about center, and then we can move on to Atlanta's other plays?
No, I don't have anything.
Nice. I feel like that was important because center, once again, because they don't do it correctly, is massive for Summer League. So as far as the Hawks go, one of the safer teams to play because everyone's hurt. Nikola Drusic, Kervinas Vesna, legend, is not playing. Buffkin's not playing. And this roster was already very thin about ball handlers. Risha Shea I'm pretty sure he's shut down, right? I just know he's been out the last two.
He's not officially shut down, but I think the beat said he'd be surprised if he played. Yeah. So okay. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he played.
I think Atlanta just runs the exact same rotation we saw yesterday, really, besides maybe on Jenda coming in for Liddell. I think there's some good pieces here, just like kind of like the New York centers. Like Wallace is a safe for 5,200. Joyner and Bowden Bowden definitely off the bench. I can't remember Joyner started, but Baker, all in that like 5K range, are very nice, safety, comfy value right out the gate. How are you all handling those pieces? And maybe Windler 6.7K could have a nuke game.
Mm-hmm. I'll go first on it. Or
okay,
Parker,
there you
go ahead.
No, you're fine. Whoever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say besides these guys are obviously really good plays at whoever starts. I mean, Windler, rebound monster, decent shooter, definitely could get there. He did sit earlier, so he's a candidate to rest today for a back-to-back. I will say that about him. Liddell also has some injury history. He's another candidate to sit technically, but if these guys start, obviously Wallace is an amazing play. Liddell's a good play. I mean, you could even go to like Baker minutes were kind of weak. Windler minutes were good though. They're a great team to go to. They're pretty thin. I also think that we haven't really seen their ceilings yet either. Besides Keenan Wallace, I would say plenty of these guys can have much better games than they've been having. But the one drawback, it's an early game. There's going to be other value. So if you take, they're probably going to be owned. They're good plays, but maybe you can find better.
I think Parker, I'm going to go to you, but I'm going to give my thoughts real quick. I think we're looking for a team to be shorthanded later on and have like nut value, but right out the gate, we have a team that's naturally shorthanded. We know they're shorthanded. I think one of these Hawks guys is going to be on the winner. And if not in the winner, I think it's because it's a shitty, tiny contest. And one of them will be borderline optimal because they're also cheap and the team's like so depleted. You're telling me Baker, like Windler, Wallace, Joyner, Bowden, you're telling me one of them won't nuke? I just don't see it. I think it's definitely going to happen. Parker, what do you think about him?
Yeah, I think whoever starts, like pretty much all of them would be good options. Besides maybe Moses Wood. I don't think he's.
Oh, he's so bro. Washington guy's so bad. I hate that guy. It's horrendous. I can't believe they're giving him so many minutes.
But assuming Liddell starts, I think he would be good. Baker's obviously good. Windler. I do have like some concern. Windler sits the back-to-back. Like I think it could happen. We could get the news, but I'm not sure. Keaton Wallace went off last game. I think he's solid too. And then Joyner and Bowden came off the bench, and they both played a lot too. So, I mean, they probably won't be owned.
Let's say that the normal guys are out, and Windler does sit, and then we get the typical starters, but Bowden or Joyner slide into the starting lineup. Do you think I'm too extreme on thinking all lineups should have at least one of the Hawks in that scenario?
No, because would they be down to 8 then?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
a lot of these guys are good per minute too. So.
You could play him with Windler in. They're good plays. I mean,
no, for sure. But do you think
only-
it's too extreme to have if Windler plays? I still like the rule personally, but what do you guys think?
I never set rules, to be honest. So like,
I set them in my head.
yeah,
that's fair. I mean, a single entry player, I'll probably bite the one that fits the best, because one of them should definitely get there, and probably more like if Windler's out, obviously it's an even different, it's a more extreme situation.
Yeah, true.
They're good plays though.
We'll speed up a little bit, but I'm gonna I'll rotate this question so we don't have to ask both. Parker, your favorite play on Atlanta or New York in this game? Who's your favorite play in this game? Period.
Windler if he plays, I'd say.
Got it. Okay. Levert, let's talk about Chicago. We talked about Sanogo being a not probable, but possible resting candidate. Buzelis off the bench last game is sketchy. Stewart continues to absolutely nuke. How are you handling Stewart in particular?
Mm-hmm.
And then if not him, other non-center positions for this team?
Stewart's obviously kind of just an absolute smash. I mean, he's his usage is really good. There's no metrics on him that really scare me. I wouldn't even. I consider him shooting a little better than he should, but other than that, it's not really anything scary. The only thing about Stewart is not that he's obviously an amazing play. The bench guys are also amazing on that team if you were to be out, because Javonte Smart and Sebron are both pretty good producers, and if any of them slipped in, it'd be really nice. So even more so than him, I would take Stewart and just pray that he sits, because if you get that, then you're really gonna have some advantages there. I mean, Sanogo's a great play if he plays. If you have to assume they're both going to play, because the Bulls haven't demonstrated any reason not to necessarily, but easily in the cards that they both, Buzelis or Sanogo, can sit. Pretty fucking good team. Phillips would be amazing if they both sat. I would say that.
You're muted.
Damn, good call. I appreciate it. So you're talking about playing Stewart, like you're just available to go to one of these other elite guards.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
I mean,
everyone's
going to do that, and honestly, I see no problems doing that.
Yeah, I think it's something you just bite the bullet. Parker, do you differ from anything and any other? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I got one more question later.
This team's on a back-to-back, so like if we don't get news, anyone could sit here, especially Buzelis. I think that's how you pronounce it.
You're right. We'll say.
But Stewart, Sanogo, Phillips, and then Buzelis if he plays are all good. They have been good all summer league. They've ran the same rotation the entire summer league, besides last game when Buzelis came off the bench. So it's pretty straightforward here, but everyone is risky on a back-to-back.
I say, let's say we get news that we'll do two different scenarios. Everyone plays. I think Stewart still play, but I'm kind of, I don't really want to play that much for Sanogo, assuming everyone plays. 'Cause I don't think he plays that much on a back-to-back. So would you all agree with that?
If he starts, he'll play like his 23 to 26 that he does.
He still is probably the best producer in the entire league. So I would be fine playing him if he started. I'm not I think
maybe
if he
they want
plays,
to get him used to the back-to-back.
What's up?
Maybe they want to get him used to that kind of work.
I mean, I think back-to-back is a little overblown in summer league in general by touts in the public, because a lot of these guys are young and they're not playing heavy minutes. They're playing 20 to 25. It's not the difference between a practice game and summer league. Obviously it's different, but the body wear and tear isn't too extreme. I think most of you guys are fine for it. Teams are just precautionary. So if Sanogo plays, I think it's you're chilling. If he I guess I'll say this. I don't think back-to-back limits are a common thing. I think back-to-back resting, you either go all the way or you play full. That's how I see back-to-back in summer league.
Okay, yeah.
So I think he's fine. But again, we've noticed, look at Oscar, just like Sanogo, you could see some really strange minutes from centers. So not going to say he's obviously the best play in the slate, but he's usable.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, he's an awesome fantasy point per minute. So, even if he plays 22, you're not taking a Z, or 22 minutes. Maybe they get blown out or something. I mean, you're still probably going to get close to 30, honestly, unless something crazy happens. Yeah. So, I guess you all persuaded me on maybe.
There's some interesting guys in this price range. So, I think if you don't take him, you can easily match his points somewhere else.
Yeah. Parker, I'll let you dive into LA. What do you think happens here? So this team played in the Cali Classic Castleton, I think, only sat out one of those games. Connect has sat out one of these summer league games. Castleton has not. So I'm a little bit sketchy about him, and then the rest of the team is kind of aids. So what do you like on LA?
I think Connect has the biggest risk to like get rested here, just because I think they care about him. I don't think they really care about Colin Castleton. So
True.
And it's not a back-to-back for them. So I would guess Castleton plays. Connect, I'm not sure. And then they kind of run an ugly rotation. So
yeah, the guards. I think we'll get better value on the guards because even if Shawnee starts, like Kusi is, I don't know. I just don't think they'll kill you. Levert, do you have any? Or what? Parker, go ahead.
If they start, like, are fine, but
who's that?
East and Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Which they should.
Did Lewis's minutes go back up last game? No.
No, that's why I said they're fine, but like they're fine filler pieces if you need them.
Yeah, like a last piece. All right, Bert. Anything different from this game?
Besides locking Bronny James in, honestly.
Oh God.
I think they have some interesting bench guys. If guys were to sit like Blake Hinson, if you watch college, you probably know. Definitely can go into a really high usage role. I've been kind of waiting for him to have an opportunity. I don't really know if it happens at all in the summer league, but he would be very interesting to me. So hopefully guys sit there. Maxwell Lewis is solid, good in G League, but he's a little more of a he's not that good of a shot creator. So when I'm trying to find guys to fill in big usage, I kind of want guys that are making their own shot. But he maybe can do it. In summer league, a lot of these guys morph. Like Connect's kind of doing that, and some other guys that are like more 3-point primary. So he can be solid. I played him last slate actually when I needed a last guy, and he's solid. I would agree with BP that Connect is definitely the highest DNP risk on this team. Don't really feel that scared about the rest of them. Maxwell Lewis, I guess, would be second in line for me for DNP. But yeah, Sean Ace is solid. If he starts, not that exciting of a team.
What if we get Henson and Brown both starting? Oh my God, I would come.
It could definitely be an interesting slate if the Lakers were to do that.
They gotta let Henson give a shot in the starting lineup, man. I know we saw a lot of him in Classic, but they gotta give him a chance in Vegas to start.
Yeah.
Like you've seen enough Lewis. He started every single game like the past 2 summer leagues. Like let Henson go in there and tucked in threes contested. Why not?
Yeah, no, he could find a shot a little bit if that were to happen.
He don't even have to find it. He'll shoot that fucker anyways. He don't give a fuck.
He definitely will.
New Orleans, Hawkins is my favorite spin up if he doesn't rest, which kind of sucks because we're waiting on it. But I could have a swap to someone in Dallas if nothing crazy happens, like Lawson or even Prosper, if I play him in utility. This New Orleans team has not been great to us, or I've not really been playing besides Hawkins, but I've been still watching to see how they've done. It's not really nothing scared me. They're kind of like LA. I don't really have that much interest here unless we get crazy news. Am I missing something? Whoever wants to go first can go first.
Hawkins has been very disappointing so far, but he's an interesting buy low candidate, and plus this slate, like you might just need raw points with people getting shut down. So if he does play, fine. And then they've been like flipping starters, and the rotation is kind of weird. So outside of that, like maybe Ford or Hall if they start, like are interesting. And then Misi, if Carl out, I think is deep. But I don't even think we're gonna get Carlo news because like these New Orleans beats like never give us anything, and they got the starters wrong last game, so I don't think we can rely on them for anything, to be honest. You're muted again.
So I forgot NBA got them wrong, but
yeah,
I just got a call. Jalen Crutcher starting today. I'm sorry, but what's funny is that slate I tried to swap onto him, and I couldn't make it work, and then I just got so lucky. So that is kind of shitty.
I swapped on like 50%. I think I had the highest team with him actually, but
I had 100%.
He wasn't on my main team.
Oh no, Bert! Oh God!
I only had 5 lineups, so it's not like BP. BP's 100% is much more staggering than mine, but I definitely switched all my money to Crutcher.
Yeah, I didn't have spots for him in my main lineup, so I got lucky there.
The thing is, what if they change the starting lineup, but they don't announce DNPs? Like, I would love Keon Brooks if he was starting, but I need more with that. I need DNPs to be announced too. Like,
they're a super troubling team. I think on a slate this big. You're gonna need some really good Pelicans plays to play him. But I like Hawkins bounce back. I played his over 22.5 PRA. I thought that was a
Oh
good
my
play
God.
today.
No, you missed it. It was 20 and a half. At
Oh,
6
no.
a.m. 20
Well,
and a half.
I played the prize picks. I just wait for prize picks normally, so UD sometimes a little better. But I mean, 20.5 is a great bet too.
I was blowing up the bathroom at the gym at 6 a.m. and saw Hawkins 20.5 PRA, and I just fucking dropped another log. I heard, oh shit, my pants. But I was
Hawkins definitely good bounce back. I mean, probably my favorite stud in this game. I would take him over the Tyson and guys like that. Trey's a monster. Really good play there. If he starts today, if Pickett continues his trend of whatever the fuck he's been doing, or he's just out, Jameer Young obviously will start. He's likely starts. He'll be good.
He didn't. So he played a lot last game, but D's Tony was the guy who started the second half for Pickett.
Who'd you say?
D's Tony started.
Walter Ellis started the second half.
Well, Ellis started the game though.
What?
Yeah,
Ellis started the game.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, Tony came in right for.
Pickett got benched, and Tony was the guy who got.
Tony did play 20 minutes, I think.
I'm putting a zero. I'm like almost thinking about putting a zero on Pickett.
I mean,
I think Trey Alexander smash, Hall smash. What do y'all think about Tyson? I think he's overpriced, but maybe a pivot if you need to later on, staggering the day.
I think he's similar to Hawkins in the way like they both have sucked so far, but they could just randomly have a game where they shoot
for 50.
well.
How are you all handling Jameer Young?
I haven't got that. I probably won't worry about it unless he starts, but like he could still play like 26 minutes off the bench and score like 30. So
yeah, I think he's a solid play.
Okay.
I don't have issues going to him. I can't say for sure like if I'm playing him because it's just such a long slate, but I can definitely say
that. The nice thing about it, if you play him and you just leave a little bit, like we have pivots in this game right here, OKC Dallas. I'm assuming. Yes, I'm not
would not mind it. Would not mind just putting guys like that in the slot and waiting.
Oh yeah, Gorman's 4,600. I mean, Shackelford's 49. So yeah, you could do that. So sorry, backtrack. OKC as a team, the big three are rolled out. Dylan Jones, Mitchell, Flagler. I think Keontae. He scares me a little bit. I just feel like he's always getting random DMPs. But I think he's a great play. Maldon's a great play. Shackelford off the bench. Maybe he gets a start here. KJ Williams is an absolute smash play. I think. Oh wait, BP, you said that last game.
So I didn't get we got that news with like 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
And I got one swap in, but I didn't project him as high as I wanted to. So I only swapped on like 8%. But he only played 20 minutes, so I don't know.
What if Keontae sits though? If you find out 10:30 Keontae sits, you have to assume KJ walks into a 30 fantasy point game. I loved him at LSU. I love him here. I think he's still fine. I want to see a minutes bump, but
yeah. The thing is, I mean, this could obviously change as they get more shorthanded, but he's been playing like strictly the 5. So he was splitting with Kelly most of the games. And then I think last game he split with, I don't know who it was, but they had a backup big off the bench that he was splitting with. So.
We just got some big news.
What is it?
No SAR.
Shut up.
John Butler.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, did we get started?
Oh my God. I just didn't really think he was available. You got to be kidding me.
That is a very interesting starting lineup.
Who is it?
Carrington, George, Bernard, Funk, John Butler. Butler's like the old Pelicans guy. Straight tall.
God. I got to play fucking Abu Badgie. I hate my life. Oh my God.
God, wait. Who else is at center for you?
That's it. Frawling for Indiana. Oh well, I'll we got one more team to go. So OKC, yeah. I think OKC has a bunch of smash plays. I'm assuming the backup 5 was Trey Mitchell from Kentucky. Yeah. It was Trey. Yeah, God, just give KJ 25 minutes, give 15, and then let Keontae. But Trey can play the 4 a little bit, so maybe they play him at the 4. If Keontae sets, then KJ gets even more minutes at the 5. Shackelford, how you all handling him? I think he's awesome. I think there's a couple of awesome pivots. Kind of how your lineup goes. I'm starting the day with Maldonado though.
Yeah, I haven't looked at Shackelford's G League stats yet. I haven't got to that. But I think if he starts, he's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he randomly starts over like Boeheim or Kopp. Or if Keontae could get shut down too. So
short and simple, Bert, who's your favorite OKC play?
Gotta be Maldonado. I mean,
Second favorite. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Let me take a look real fast. So I took Keontae last slate. He's good. He conservatively low with minutes, especially for him. He's also a back-to-back guy, I guess, I'd have some small concerns about. But KJ Williams, I mean, if he starts, definitely point per dollar has to be my second favorite.
Love it. I love the KJ play. Okay, for Dallas, we saw the starters last game. Prosper, AJ Lawson, Emmanuel Miller, Gortman, and Isaiah Wiley. Wiley was not a good fantasy point guy at UConn. I don't really like him unless you're like absolutely in dire straits and need him. Gortman, I'm probably gonna start the day my lineup with. It has been crushing, getting all kinds of uses, 4,600 still. As the day goes on, if something comes up and you want to play someone else, fine. Emmanuel Miller's minutes are really concerning me. Lawson and Prosper are interesting spin ups. Vert, who's your priorities for Dallas besides Gortman?
Yeah, so if his price was lower, I would love to play Prosper because he's been shooting bad and he's definitely due for regression again today. And I mean, he's a good G League guy. I kind of thought he'd take a more premier role in this, but he hasn't yet. He's been solid though. Like him if he was cheaper, but if you have to go there because everyone gets ruled out, I mean, I'm not mad about it. I like Lawson, obviously. I don't know how I feel about Gortman. I was definitely not on him earlier on, but over time he's kind of demanded more usage, so I can support the notion of playing him for sure. Their bigs are a complete mess. I haven't really touched them this year. I don't know if I'm going to touch them today, especially they're a final game with a good value. I can't see myself playing any of their forwards. I guess Emmanuel Miller is okay, but bad minutes last game. I don't know. I think it's a loss in Prosper or bust, and I guess Gortman too.
Yeah, sounds like you're under on Gorman. That's interesting because I feel like you can put him and you kind of just see as the day goes if one nuke value.
I was behind on him, I guess, so I got fucked by him the first time he did good. So maybe
I played him both times.
Maybe I gotta get on the wave. But
yeah,
I look at his. I gotta look at his numbers more and kind of make a decision there. But he's a very good safe place. Okay, everyone else is not good value. I'll just play Gorman at the end.
Yeah. All right, Parker. What were you gonna say? And then we'll talk about Dallas likes or dislikes.
So for Dallas, Lawson, Prosper, Gortman are obviously the top guys. I would like Miller if he didn't play 17 minutes left. He's good per minute. And then Wiley, whatever it is, he's actually I don't think he's that bad per minute. He was 1 per minute in Germany, I think. And he's the starting center, but he barely played, so he played 19 minutes. So I don't think you can get there with a ton of confidence. Maybe take a shot on him as a 1% owned guy if you want.
The same way that I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Maybe he just backed up. I think he backed up Sonogo at UConn is why I'm kind of shitting on him. So yeah.
And then
maybe a good night slate play.
Back-to-back team. So I mean, there is DMP risk with all these guys. I think. Except Gortman, I'm pretty surprised if Gortman, Miller, or any of those guys sit. But I'm pretty sure they're a pretty deep team. So even if guys rest, they can still run a deep rotation, I think.
Yeah, this lineup sucks so bad. I wish they would just give him more minutes to Sharp. He's 7'5". It'd be fun. Everyone have fun. We'd be like, yay, look at the freak. Guys that does it, I gotta get up here and edit my shitty star team. Let's go favorite lowish owned play or mid ownership. Vert, you first.
Have BP go first.
You're bad, Jake. Oh my god, I'm not even reading the comments. All right, what are you saying?
Have BP go first. Yeah, I think for a second.
Okay. It's hard to tell who's going to be on. This slate's going to change so much from right now, I think. So let's see here. I guess if Jameer Young starts, I might go with him. Mm-hmm. But he might be owned, so I don't know. But if he starts, I might go with him.
I like that. That's a good call.
I have no idea if I'm going to play this guy, but for leverage, I think it might be Jordan Hawkins for me.
Hell, that was mine. Damn. Now I got to go and look. All right, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. I got mine.
Yeah, he's scary to play. He might be a guy where you get him a little bit, but you don't. I don't know if I can play him in every lineup, but I could definitely.
Though, you can swap to Tyson, right? Yeah, if you play him in the utility, you can swap to Tyson.
I could definitely mess with Hawkins today. That's what I'll say.
What are you gonna say, Parker?
I think Hawkins might still get ownership just because he's one of the raw pay up guys who.
He will, but he won't be that owned.
You
Probably
can
be
even
like,
swap with Prosper and the util, stuff like that. My favorite play is going to be KJ Williams, saving it for late. Hopefully, we get lineups. If not, I don't see him setting. I think he plays. If he plays, God forbid, he plays 27 minutes, he might break the slate. KJ Williams, my play of the day. Guys, thanks for coming on. Good luck today. Appreciate you giving us the insights, and hopefully, you didn't give away too much though. All right, we're out. I just got awkwardly go over here and press the outro, and then I gotta go switch my shitty ass teams.